Hello, and welcome to the third of our playthroughs of a Free from the Yoke version with a fantasy samurai skin, aiming with sort of generic world building. The example I want to give is if you've ever seen an anime that presents Europe and everything sort of medieval, that's sort of the way that this is treating Japan and that stuff in that kind of very distant way. One of my hopes is as we get this written and revised for eventually for publication, is we'll get certainly a cultural reader to look over everything to make sure that it is shipshape. I had Elin Wang read over Hearts of Wulin, and that experience was dynamite and really helped fix some of the things in that original draft of that. But we are playing today with starting with a zoom in. We do have lines and veils, and I know we've gone through this before. I'll just mention we have that. We of course have the X card and the open door in play. I have added as an experiment a new character move on the character tab moves tab because I didn't have enough moves. I was like, gee, we need another move. But it, in fact, is a move that whenever I've run Free from the Yoke, I've missed it. It's at the bottom. It's cross great distances. Basically, this is our approach roll, our journey roll, that kind of thing for the group traveling. That kind of sets up some things, maybe makes some costs for the group in the travel and narrating those. This is kind of an experiment with that to see how that goes. Now, if I recall correctly, it is Masaru who is kind of organizing and leading this expedition, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And you have agreed to have Makiko and Kasayori also join you on this.
Yeah, that's right. Um,
Uh, so where do you think that your group sets out from? Where do you imagine, Masaru, that you would gather your friends to leave from?
yeah, that is a good question. I am going to consult our map. Um, I feel like given where we are, um, and where we're headed to, and because it seems like a good place to have trouble on the way. I think we're maybe going to be taking the river down to Last Hope City, and then heading up from there to where we reckon the dragon is. So
Absolutely.
so I
Uh,
think as we set out, we're maybe I feel like maybe the journey through the Scholars Forest is probably fairly well traveled. But it's maybe as we're sort of getting on a boat to take us down the river.
yeah. Once you kind of hit that marsh, there's kind of a changeover to a different set of populace that are farmers and hunters in the marsh itself. And Last Hope City is a good place to pick up a guide. Uh, uh, Makiko, Last Hope City is the place where all of the failed Shugenja go and gather. So, like, what are you expecting? What are you worried about when you head there?
I'm very worried because I am this is the first step in me completing my apprenticeship. That my master requires me to somehow recover a remnant of the Imperial Archive, and what I see at Last Hope City is what I will become if I fail to graduate from my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So I think there's foreboding. There's kind of, oh, this is all. This could be me.
And it is one of those places where it is a ramshackle network of stilt buildings and different shrines and things like that. There are mosquitoes and dragonflies everywhere as you arrive. There is a decent amount of trade that stops up here. But the port that is nearby to Last Hope City is very tightly imperially controlled. Like it's kind of locked off from the rest of the city. Kasayori, what was the last time that you had to go here to Last Hope City?
It was to kill a Shugenja, of course. Or more accurately, to arrange for a Shugenja to be killed. But such semantics are beneath Kasayori.
Absolutely.
They were a threat. They were rumored to be fallen, and they were a former member of the Quartz Oak, and therefore could have brought dishonor upon us.
Were you surprised that it was more difficult than you thought it would be, or more easy than you thought it would be?
I am surprised at how easily these fallen Shugenja would take the money of a stranger. I suppose those who have fallen from the path of spirituality are the easiest to pull further astray. Of course, they all have their own philosophies. I feel that the city of Last Hope is where many madmen and spiritualists believe that they are bringing their own truths to the world.
Excellent. And Masaru, do you think that you are hiring somebody here, or have you already arranged for someone to be here to meet up with you? What do you think?
I think that maybe Masaru has sent an agent on ahead to hire somebody, but yeah, we are definitely hiring a local guide, I think.
So you will gather yourselves up. There is that noise of that. I assume, Makiko, you probably see at least one or two people that you know that will look at you maybe with surprise that you're here, and then see you're actually dressed nicely and you're with people of wealth, and they will cover themselves and move away, not to have to interact with you. So Masaru, you are making this journey across the lands that kind of lie between the unclaimed lands and the lands of the Glass Iris to the north through here. What stat is it you'd like to roll this with, and why?
Yeah. I feel like this is probably law. I think Masaru is definitely the type who will have obviously, they are hiring a guide anyway, but will have spent his time kind of studying the reports that have come in about this dragon, studying the maps of the area and the like, and sort of has already kind of plotted out kind of the best route to take. But obviously we will have our guide along as well, just to make sure that everything goes smoothly.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and have your roll plus lore.
Oops, I haven't opened the roller yet. That is a 7.
So that is a 7. Now, obviously, there are people that are along with you. If you wish, you could ask for someone to assist and potentially boost this. Or you could be happy with this result.
I am in the position to declare a group of because I'm curious about the gear.
Yep.
I have the option to declare a group of ageless librarians.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, given that they are scholarly, whether that would be one way to justify a offering help.
Absolutely. I think that makes perfect sense. And I think it gives you fictional positioning, but this is also a supply. So you can roll with a +1 if you mark it right now on your lend aid. And given you're using the librarians, given your own role in this, I think that makes sense for you to roll with lore.
Okay, so 2d6 +1.
Okay. Do you feel like your backstory would assist you?
So 2d6 plus my lore plus a bonus 1 for the librarians.
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay. So, oh, wow.
There's almost no chance you could fail now.
Thank you for that one. Here we go then. 2d6 +3. Because I'm not sure.
You don't think your backstory is appropriate?
I'm just trying to say.
What was it?
I want to teach Massaro what's truly important. And what is important is knowing things and preparing.
Yeah, so that sounds good.
3d6 +2.
Okay, so let's roll. Oh, there we go. 3d6 +3. 3.
So you're rolling 3d6 and you're getting a what's your lore?
My lore, yes. Sorry, I'll roll 3d6. My lore is 2.
Okay.
And
so yeah,
I'm
3d6 +3. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the 3d6. Just as well. So that's 7 +3 is a 10.
Okay. So that will push this up to a 10 plus. So what is this land that we're passing through mostly? I'll start with you, Alan. Like, what do we see in terms of landscape? Is this a plains? Is this lightly wooded? Is this, rocky? Is it blasted? What do you think?
I'm liking the idea of rolling grassland.
Okay.
And kind of deep grass. So, we're kind of going through at shoulder and height and above.
And Kasayori, are there many villages here? Are there a few? What's the kind of the level of populace through this area?
This is the area sort of to the northwest of the Marsh of Last Hope, right on the way to the Dragon. Yeah, I think I actually think that there are quite a lot of villages here due to it being unclaimed lands. It is where many of the exiles, the Ronin, the vagabonds, people that sheltered the emperor.
Okay.
Live, and perhaps even the odd 1 or 2 members from the Shanties of Broken Magic have made their way further inland.
Okay. So if this was, once the possession of a clan or something, that is long past. We may see some evidence of old ruined fortifications, but that has been some time. So
I suggest that it was a clan. It was a clan that tore itself apart during the time of Shadow.
Oh, nice. Probably early on.
Yeah.
So Masaru, with the guides and so on, eventually you will in one of these villages, and you're getting close to the Rocky Mountains. One of the Ronin there will accept your coin and say that they have been to the mountains and they have seen where the dragon lives, and they can show you a path there that is circumspect. And they seem reasonably trustworthy, and they will lead you to the mountains. There to the south lies the woodlands. So the woods kind of do, blend up in that kind of alpine look. They roll up onto this. And so these mountains are, the area that you're at are fairly forested, pine covered, and so on. But it is early on in the day when you arrive, and you will move up the mountain till you get yourself in a good position that your guide has said come down here, and you can see that. And from where you're at, you will see that there is a great cavernous cave entrance, and there's a fairly wide shelf there, extending out, large enough that a dragon could perch upon it. But there's not a dragon there. You will see that there are a group of people. They are dressed in unusual clothing. There are about 6 of them that you would say look like they must be simple soldiers. They're definitely not from the Empire. They're probably from the lands of those wizards. They're dressed roughly. There are a couple people that look like might be leaders. They're dressed sort of oddly. And then they have with them a figure in absurd robes, impractical, that drape across, and that person is seated upon a rock and has great folio in front of them that they're going through, and there seems to be some, you know, if it's an argument or a discussion or planning or what that is happening right now. And you have rolled a 10 plus, so they have not seen you. You are in a very good position to do whatever it is you wish. Masaru, what do you say to your companions?
I'll stop and turn to the other 2 and say, I do not suppose either of you have encountered these strangers before, or those of their sort.
I'd like to unearth forgotten lore to see whether I do know anything about these.
I think that's perfect.
So this is roll plus lore, 2d6.
Now, actually, so that lore, unearthed forgotten lore would be like if you were at a site and we're exploring that kind of thing.
I
Instead,
see.
we're using study, which is at the top of the next column, is also lore.
So that's 9, 10, 11. On 10 plus hold 2, spend 1 to 1. Ask a question about these people. Do I know where they come from? Are these, in fact, coastal wizards?
Let's have you roll.
I rolled 9 plus 2, so 11.
Okay. So your question is, are these people coastal wizards? That's your first question.
Yes.
Definitively.
Yes.
You recognize the cut of their jib, the clothing, the weird animal skins that they wear in places, that sort of that carelessness with which they have walked through your lands. It definitely speaks of that to you. So you have another hold that you can ask a question or declare a detail.
I think I'd like to declare the detail that there is a path to that ledge where they are discussing, which we could use and approach unobserved.
Absolutely. I think it's still risky, but you could certainly attempt to sneak past them. If you do so, this is the sort of what I would say is, you would not be able to take anybody's like followers with you, so you wouldn't be able to mark those once you got in. But I think the 3 of you potentially, unless you have followers that are sneaky, stealthy, or have tags that are fixed to that,
like a group of ninja assistants.
Yes, that sort of thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if they're there or not, right? That's the beauty of ninja assistants.
Exactly. So someone should probably essentially be the person to lead this travel down of you, and that's going to be with bravery.
I have +1 in bravery.
Okay.
This is, I think this is absolutely Kasayori's wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I added my
I don't think you can have.
no, I haven't added my clan's ability of
Yeah.
Add +1 to my bravery, so I will add 1 to my bravery and make it
Now,
even more.
before you
Okay.
roll,
Mhm.
do you want to mark any of your supply to give yourself advantage on the roll, or are you happy with the +2?
No, I think to mark my ninja subordinates.
Okay.
Who I think in this case are a pair of twins, both of whom are simply called Yori.
Nice.
My clan. And yes, you only ever see one of them at a time, I think.
So you mark that supply, and now you roll 3d6 with advantage, +2.
That is a 12.
That is a 12. So the three of you will make your way past them and into the cave mouth. You hear them. It sounds like the two sort of non-soldier people are arguing with the wizard, and there seems to be some concern, though their tongue is guttural and unpleasant to listen to. And you will make your way into the cave. Masaru, is this cave natural? Is it magically made? Is it something else?
I think that it is natural, though the parts of it have been sculpted is maybe the best word. There are parts of it that have obviously been subjected to intense heat, and its form kind of like somewhat abstract but clearly intentional artworks about the cave.
And the three of you will make your way down this passage, and you will come to the end. You'll feel that kind of slight wind of breathing, and as you look around, lit a little bit by the glow of heat stones, where the dragon's breath has kept them warm, you will see a great deep red, almost black red dragon. Again, that great coiling serpent style dragon that is there. There's no horde here or anything of that sort that you can see, though the way that its enormous body is, it may be, concealing things behind it, that kind of thing. And it is definitely slumbering.
So, want us to do?
I suppose we should probably wake it up so that we can introduce ourselves, but I would rather, I think, wait for it to wake naturally. He'll kind of give a little shrug, and say,
The dragon that slept for 50 days and 50 nights, or even for 1,000 years. We could be waiting some time if we simply wait for it.
Indeed, indeed.
And those uncivilized foreigners outside may follow us.
Perhaps one could say to a dragon if one was to have witnessed a group of foreigners dressed in battle armor and wielding strange magics upon the dragon's cave, that we bring a warning to such a wise and great beast of those who would foolishly seek the dishonor of harming such an immortal being. But I am not caught yet.
I have no doubt you would excel at it were you to do so, Kazehori, but he'll sort of nod and say, well, we'll kind of, with that, step forwards and sort of call out in a well projected, but not actively shouting cry of I am sorry to intrude upon your rest, O great dragon, but we are here to seek audience with you.
There'll be that kind of shiver that runs along the body that kind of starts at the end, and when it finally hits the head, the eyes will open languidly, and it will turn to face you, and will look, and it will say, "Speak."
I am sorry to have woken you from your slumber, great dragon. This we would not have been so forward, but there are strange strangers without who seem rather suspicious. We did not wish to tarry here too long or risk them interrupting you in a more uncivil fashion.
Stranger than you?
I would say so, but I suppose that goes without saying.
I see. Well, I thank you for your insight, but I expect that you are here for another purpose. Have your others step out into the light so that I can see all of you.
Apart from the ninjas.
I think I will even gesture at the Yori twins from their positions behind two different stalactites, knowing, of course, that the tails of dragon senses are such that their sense may give them away in any case. And Yori will step forward and bow low alongside Masaru.
And Makiko just kind of shakes herself, having just with her jaw dropped and her eyes wide, and bow, showing proper respect.
What is it that you have come here for? I kind of will turn to face you, Masaru, since you were the first one to speak.
I come as a representative of the new Empress, and bring her tidings to you. We have heard of your presence here, and of course, it is only right that that we bring her blessings to her well, her not her blessings, her well wishes to a a great creature such as yourself.
There is a new empress then. I'd heard that you had brought your own doom upon yourselves. It was a foe who blasted the land, but was one of your own.
Regrettably, you speak true. They a great war has indeed shaken our people.
I always speak true. The matter is that I speak correctly here and accurately.
Quite so, quite so.
What does your empress want?
So where I'm going to have to jump in quickly because I can't remember the specifics
Basically,
of what we'd agreed.
to set up an alliance or trade,
Yeah,
or
that's
just a
what
guarantee.
I thought, yeah. Our empress, as I say, wished to pass on her respects to you, to offer some small gifts, of course, and to see how we might coexist in harmony with you, and
Our hospitality, great serpent, our people who this, it may be beneath a beast such as you, but this is the borders of our lands, and as we have warned you, there is risk of outsiders, and we would not wish to be associated with their depredations, and we would seek to make you welcome upon our lands and to greet you and to perhaps learn of what you may know.
And to know about the lost Imperial archives.
Several
Okay.
tasks,
I
several
already
things
will-
you want.
I think Ori will stamp on Makiko's foot like, it's so obvious.
This is one at a time. All right, Imperial Legate. And clearly invites you to pursue, your formal statements. This is find common ground.
certainly, I will absolutely mark some choice gifts to present to the dragon. I think as a kind of kneel before, and I will open. I mean, for it, probably a very small box, but a relatively sized wooden casket that it will open and display several very fine cut gemstones that sort of reflect the dim light in the room.
And I suggest the Yori twins hustle that out from behind the stalactite. Carrying it.
Nice. Yeah. And, roll cunning with advantage.
Sure thing. That is an 11.
All right. I will agree to engage in trade and peaceable interactions with your empire and the empress. I have some things that are of no use to me here that you may find of use, but I wish a trade. And the dragon will kind of move, and you will see that there is a kind of a moon cave where you can see that there's liquid dripping from the ceiling down into this great basin. And the dragon says, "This is a font of the finest liquor, the finest alcohol, a creation of an oracle generations ago. I would trade a ready supply of this for something that will appease my baser appetites." And basically he's saying he'll engage in trade with you. He wishes to trade sake / opium, but essentially that particular surplus, for livestock. It says, "I wish to have prepared foods brought to me so I do not need to feast upon the populace outside. Not that I would particularly harshly, but does that seem reasonable?"
That sounds more than fair. My my good friend, that would be a fair trade, I feel.
And then the head will shift towards you, Mikiko, and say, "Now you had a question, a request?"
Yes, oh great dragon. I have been tasked to recover any remnant of the lost Imperial archives that was cast to the winds during the war. And as a dragon of such great wisdom and age, I was certain that you would be able to point me in the right direction, if indeed you had none of them yourself.
Now this is Unearthed Forgotten Lore.
Let's do that thing then. So that is 2d6 plus 2. That's an 11. Wow, we're killing it tonight.
Yeah. You have 2 hold.
I have 3 hold on a 10 plus.
Yeah,
Is
as
that a
you have a
misprint?
bonus. Yeah, that's right.
No, I think because I'm just on 7 to 9 hold 2, on 10 plus hold 3.
Oh,
Is
you're
that a
right. You're right. You're right.
And I think
Why do I have
that
10 plus second? This is another one of those things like that breaks the format. I've got to fix that. So
and I'm just looking for where it is. I think I get a benefit on oh no, that's rituals. No, I thought there was something in there about forgotten lore.
Yeah.
So I will unearth forgotten lore, and oh, I always roll unearth way of the wind. I always unearth forgotten lore with advantage on a hit. You can always answer 1 question in addition to your roll results. 4 questions.
yeah.
Wow.
And that includes declaring details.
Yeah, okay, right. So that's quite a lot. Right. I want to know, where is such a fragment or remnant to be located? Or could I declare a detail on
You
that?
could declare the detail, because otherwise you're letting me answer it for you.
I am. I think that there is some of it in the shanties of Broken Magic. There is a
They will
remnant
say,
there.
"I know that there were some who fled from the imperial capital during its fall, who made their way to the shanties, carrying with them many desperate things."
And I think I want to know, and I'll give this one to you, what danger it hides, or what dangers one would face.
Those shanties are under the auspices of those coastal wizards, and anything of lore is something that they will want. So that means a dangerous thing there.
Get fleeting advantage on learn or enact a ritual. Could I learn a ritual that would allow me to identify such fragments or remnants? Some kind of lodestone.
Yeah.
Or is that pushing?
So if we look at the move for learning of rituals, so this is kind of a project. So the first thing would be to get information on, like, from him on what a ritual like that might look like. And then you could have something that would give you advantage on making that roll. So it'd be two different hold. Does that seem fair?
That does.
Okay. And that leaves you with one hold.
And that final hold is
if I put it in the chat, but if you have obviously whatever you want to spend your hold on is yours to spend your hold on, but if Yori's motivation coming here is to ask the dragon about the vanishings across the land, because dragons know the ways of other darker spirits and powers and speak correctly. So I think it would have been something that would have perhaps been discussed with Makiko prior to arriving.
I'm very happy to hand that question off to Kaseyori, because I think I know where, I know what the opposition is about, and with any luck, I'll have some help finding the location.
Yeah,
so
giving you a scroll,
I'm home free.
You're a scroll of identify, right? So yeah.
So yeah, Kaseyori, Great Dragon, I politely request that you answer my friend's question.
It'll turn to you.
The war is past, and yeah, darkness still plagues our lands. Many of our people vanish. They disappear from within our strongholds, within our fortresses, and there is no pattern with which we lowly earth walkers may see, but perhaps one such as yourself, ancient and wise, may know the truth and may tell it to us. What dark power takes our people?
There is a danger that lies hidden in your land. There is a relic of old, known as the Sundered Mirror. It was a way to see through to the realms beyond, to the celestial gates. But there was corruption in the war, the work of your foe, the break and the energy that came when that god fell from the heavens. And now that Sundered Mirror is tuned to a realm that wishes more people. There are those who travel out from it, spectral in our world, who are taking souls back to that realm to fill its coffers.
And Yori will bow low. And I'd like to suggest, if it's not pushing it too far, is that
Sure.
The way the Sundered Mirrors, these specters that travel out, I think that the reason that they take people from all across the lands, and it's so hard to think, is they're able to travel through the reflections and bring people through them,
Yeah. You must find that mirror and sunder it fully, or your land will never know peace.
She bows low and she withdraws a hand mirror from her her robes and smashes it upon the ground quickly.
And the dragon will say, I am called Kozaburo of the White River, and I believe we have an agreement, Masaharu of the Silver Lily.
We do indeed, and I shall convey your words to the Empress, and nods, and see to it that you dine well.
Excellent, excellent. Well then, you are dismissed. And I think because you rolled so well, I didn't get anything for like cost or things like that. So I do not think that the Magus and his Custos and his Grogs out there are at all alerted to the three of you as you head out.
Are they perhaps having a long rest before they approach the dragon?
The Magus is trying to gather and figure out which spells he has and which ones are going to be appropriate. I suspect you're down in the valley below the mountain when you will see a flame shoot up from the mountainside at some point. Let's take our first break here. Let's take 10, and then we will come with the zoom out.
I'm just going to eat.
So we zoom back out. This task has been undertaken successfully by you, and this was the task that was posed to you, Masaharu. So I believe if we look at that, holding court. So this is they told you to do this. You've done it. So you will gain 1 favor for your clan. And we'll come back up to the clan move level to check in, do at least one move from each of those. So let's start with the Glass Iris clan.
Well, it's less a move, more a move interpretation.
Sure.
I have an alliance move. When you teach others lessons which come from ancient magic, spirits, or other mystical means, gain influence on them. I think probably we cut to someone in the Quartz Oak, someone of authority, breaking the seal on a scroll, which is arrived from the Glass Iris, expressing a desire for more friendly contact. Given how helpful we recently were in helping you determine, we believe it is something called the Sundered Mirror. So do you think that hits the alliance move specification?
I feel okay with that. You feel okay with that, Will?
Yeah, let me just have a quick look at Alan's alliance move.
Yeah.
Just to refresh myself again. Rituals, world building. Where is the alliance move?
Row 24, 25.
Sorry, I went straight past it. Yeah, I think that's certainly applicable. Yeah, so gain influence on me.
Thank you.
So the other thing we could do, rather than sort of a full clan move here, is we could do the learn a ritual move to have your character have that. So if we look at rituals, one of the things you got was first, a character or family must uncover, create the opportunity, which you have. Then the character can take action to study it. So when you go to learn the ritual, you're going to roll that with lore.
Okay. So 2d6 plus.
Let's before you roll though, what precisely do you want this ritual to do? Because this will set what it does.
Yes. I think I'm going to call it lodestone.
Okay.
And what I want to do is to attune a literal stone to to point in the direction of Imperial remnants, the archival remnants.
Okay.
And I think probably we will. I tell you what, I think I need to travel to the site of the destroyed archive before I can do that.
Oh yeah, I think that makes a sense to give us a sort of color to what you've done there. Yeah.
So actually, rather than doing it now, I think it should kind of require me to travel there.
Okay. Yeah. We will come back to that then. So we've ticked your influence. We'll come back to you and see what clan move you want to do here in a second. We've kind of got set up for you to do that, learning a ritual. Masaharu, what move do you want for the Silver Lily?
Yeah, so I was thinking about doing something to try and resolve this issue of the internal conflict within the clan over this duel and the like. I'm wondering actually if just making the whole together move makes the most sense for this.
Yeah, it has some potential downside, but it certainly feels like a clan move to solve that particular problem. The other thing would be like if you had a particular surplus that you think you could spend to solve it, but hold together feels like the right move.
Yep. I'll have a quick look actually. What do we? Yeah. I could probably actually. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I just need to that's a better idea.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a party.
Okay.
So I think we're going to. I have the grand event move, which is once per year. You might host a tournament, festival, or ritual of surpassing beauty, and say how the event affects the people and the land, and roll mood.
Okay.
So I think that what we're going to do is, I think as kind of we the spring rolls around. We'll be holding kind of a big gathering in the still in the Mirrored City, in sort of the gardens there, where it's essentially a kind of big matchmaking event where people are brought in from sort of the various clans to arrange matches between them, and there's probably a lot of general kind of romance themed stuff going on in the city as well, just people sort of having smaller parties and stuff as well. And I think it is going to definitely make people's minds turn towards love and togetherness and affection and all that sort of thing, to sort of counter some of the more negative impacts that have been going on recently.
That's great. So what is your mood right now?
My mood is currently +1.
Okay. Are you going to ask someone else for aid on this?
Yes, I think I am. I think I am going to ask the Glass Iris for aid in this endeavor. Perhaps they can come and divine who will make good matches and the like.
So they're asking for help. You don't have influence over them. It is a chance potentially to gain influence over them if you're willing to do this. You can also say no.
Oh no, we absolutely would want to be would want to offer any help we could, and I'm almost imagining a variety of booths around your party where people can go and have their fortune read, and and then we communicate to you who is wishing for a tall, handsome stranger and who is not.
Absolutely. So, Makiko, you will roll 1d6.
That is a 2.
That is a 2. And then, Masaru, you will roll 2d6.
That is a 7.
Okay. So that is a 7. Now that is the 2 is the lowest die value amongst those things. So I think that you will gain a need for Koku. I think that this is an outlay of money that you had to make there, Mikiko, in hopes of gaining something from this.
And as is so often the case, when we embark on a business endeavor, it blows up in our face.
But now you get, for the grand event, Masaru, you get to pick one from that list.
Indeed. So yeah, I think I'm going to pick oh, I will also, sorry, I was just reading through the move properly. So yes, I will also oh no, sorry, no, that's one of my. Sorry, I'm losing myself in the move. Yeah, no, cool.
Yeah, I need to have the dots there for that. Yeah,
yeah, I am going to. No, tell you what. I will also invite the Quartz Oak to join in if they so wish, and in all honesty, probably all of the kind of upstanding clans of the Empire. But specifically for this purpose, I'm going to pick to ask other factions to join in. If they do so, they gain surplus morale, and I take an influence on them.
Are you asking both the Glass Iris and the Quartz Oak?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, both will gain a morale. So Glass Iris will gain a morale, Quartz Oak will gain a morale. And you get an influence over both of them, Masaru.
Sorry, which move are we looking at? Sorry.
This is the grand event that the Silver Lily clan is doing, and they've chosen. May ask other factions to join in, and you can say whether you do or not. If you do, you're going to gain surplus morale, but you're going to give them an influence on you.
Cool. That's a cool move. Let me just look at it. Ba-ba-ba. Yes, I'm happy to do that for sure.
All right.
Excellent.
So that doesn't necessarily solve your problem, but you do gain some influence over others, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think what I might do as well, if that's okay, is I will then spend the surplus I have in culture to try and solve this internal clan conflict. Because I feel like this gives kind of the right setting for that to make sense.
Just roll logistics then, because you're that's the
oh yes,
indeed.
It. Yep. Sorry, logistics. That is a
mood.
Mood. Yep.
And you roll mood before you spend the thing.
Yeah. That's a 10.
That is a 10. So absolutely. It arrives. This party that you put on, this gathering, the marriage arrangements, the bringing in of the other clans, there is a general bonding together of the families, a sense of the whole, and the tensions that have been gathering between those two vassal families will abate. Seems good. Let's come to the Quartz Oak. What clan
Oh,
move?
sorry,
Oh.
sorry. Well, that was morale, not culture. The surplus.
Oh, sorry. I thought I meant mood. I got
No,
confused.
it's okay. Sorry, it's a.
I already had a
Oh,
culture.
sorry. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you already had surplus morale, you may choose another not intangible surplus to take instead.
No, I did not. I'm happy to have a surplus of morale as well as culture and transport.
So Kasayori, what is the Quartz Oak doing?
Well, firstly, when you arrive in time to save a group from danger, gain influence over them. Now, did Kasayori arrive in time to, I know it's not arriving in time to save a group because I was with said group, but did save a group from danger of the outlanders, the outsiders. So I feel I must ask, does that apply?
Yeah. I think you could take it over one or the other. Which one?
I'd say it probably makes sense for more sense for maybe the Silver Lily, because your presence at the Imperial the Winter Court, by happenstance, was kind of what set that off in motion, if that makes sense.
That's fair enough.
The only thing I would say is David can have up to 3 influence because of his move. You can only have 2, so you might want to actually put it in Glass Iris.
Oh yeah, cool. Sorry, I didn't realize you were already at 2 on me.
Yes, I did. Then I think we'll fictionalize our way. I misunderstood that David got that from a move, and I just thought it was the character keeper. It's not right, but I should have trusted the character keeper at all times. So I'll just correct that. I'll justify it fictionally by saying that Makiko was by far the least worldly of us all, right, in that situation.
Yes. I think that flashback of Makiko saying, "Oh, look, we can get to the cave this way," and sets to march off, and then, no, Makiko.
And then one of the Yori brothers just steps out in front of you.
And just to remind folks, because it is a thing, what can you do with influence? You can gain advantage on a move that targets them, including lend aid. Actually, I don't think a lend aid would work with that. You can take a surplus from them. You can get them to back you up, fall into indecision, or protect something. You can ask them a question that they have to answer. So those are the things that can be done with influence. There are some clan playbook moves that are powered by influence as well.
Yeah. And I have plans for such thing, but my first priority is limited moves, right, and the turn order and everything. Is to do what I had as my wish last time, which is to for a great expedition by the Quartz Oak to the endless forests, to seize by force, claim by force the most accurate map of the endless forest bordering our empire by sending people out there, a force out there, an expedition. So I roll plus grasp.
So you roll plus grasp. If you'd like, you can have ask somebody to lend aid, or you can spend influence to make them lend aid.
Could do that, couldn't I?
Yeah.
David has 3 on me. Alan only has 1. I don't feel like the Silver Lily's elegance is a very good fit for an expedition, but I have to say.
They would have to lend you money to outfit the expedition, is probably.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that the Glass Iris are uncharacteristically involving themselves in the affairs of other clans and helping them with spending money on such things, even worldly goods. So I would perhaps reach out to the Glass Iris and say, there are many mysteries in the endless forests, many spirits of the forest, many strange, novel creatures. Would the wise Shugenja be willing to offer their insights?
I think there is no question that the Glass Iris would agree. We know from last time that they're sending apprentices hither and yon in search of these Imperial remnants, simply are trying to get back in the Emperor's good books. So yes, several apprentices will be sent to assist the Quartz Oak.
All right. So, Glass Iris, you will again roll 1d6.
This always goes so
This
well.
always goes so well for you.
Yeah, it's a 1.
Okay.
Oof.
And now you will roll Claim by Force with Grasp.
I have pretty good grasp, has to be said.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't do anything last session that would give me fleeting advantage on this roll, so.
Oh,
That's it. That's a 6.
So that's a 6 total.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. My connection got lost to the server. So what is it that comes out of the forest? Is it something from the forest? Is it people from the fallen mandate interfering? Is it something else? Like what scatters your expedition?
It's the twisting breath.
Yeah.
It's what did we say about twisting breath? I think there is a conspiracy, right? Was the let me just go back on our notes. Had to make that fit with the threat.
Yeah.
Conspiracy around the ceremony to the twisted monument, purging the family. Yeah, I'm wondering whether it's a. No, you know what? I don't think it's related to the conspiracy. I think it is merely a sign that the contamination of the twisting breath has in fact spread beyond the Empire's lands into the endless forests, and these great twisted fauna and flora that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
That they are found here in the. We were not prepared for their threat. We came thinking it would be something else different, but yeah, the strange beasts of the endless forests have been twisted stranger still.
Yeah, I think that you will ride into there, and it does not go well. And I think only a handful of your people will return. And Kasayor, you will gain need recruits.
Not need scouts.
Oh, scouts, that seems fine. Yeah. And
can I make a suggestion about which one I gain?
Sure.
Because one of the apprentices who was killed is the child of our daimo, and our daimo withdraws into mourning, leaving us with a need for order.
I like that.
Need order means we're arguing among ourselves.
Yeah, it is a bloody moment. That loss, and no further on the gathering of information there. I'm also going to put a point of turmoil on the track, because I do think that this is a fairly shocking development. Like, what do you think is the reaction amongst the Quartz Oak when this happens? Is it more stoic, or is it something else, especially given their other recent losses?
I think it is stoic in the sense of you know, it redoubles their focus on the borders. You know, for we did not know the endless forest is unpopulated by any great peoples. There are the scattered tribes of the endless forest, and it is a land of beasts, and therefore we did not view it as you know, worthy of our constant attention. And so the twisting breath slipped between the cracks of our kingdom like wind beneath a doorframe, and it has contaminated even beyond our lands. I feel like the quartz oak feel that's almost like the empire's failure. You know, like that our own dangers have spread beyond us. Quite dishonorable, really, frankly.
Yeah, I think that seems absolutely appropriate. And we know what's happened with the glass iris. Let's come back to you in the wake of this. Your mood is now -2. It's a fairly significant loss. What is it that you wish to do? Remind me also about this threat that faces your people.
Yeah, I mean, possession is the threat. And I think that is why we have need recruits. We're now wondering whether this is connected to this Sundered Mirror and the Vanishings, whether we are having to imprison some of our people in dungeons below the Temple of the Tumbling Waters, because they are made mad. And we're secretly keeping them in the cellars. And I think probably what I want to do is to describe a scene where we see the Tower of Tumbling Waters, which looks very grand and miraculous. And when we you know, you go around the back of the waterfall to get to the entrance, and there's a grand entrance hall and a staircase that sweeps upwards. But as the camera follows that staircase upwards, we begin to realize that the state of repair of the temple is poor, need lumber. You know, there are dormitories which are empty, need recruits. And as we get towards the very top floor, there are a shouting argument is going on. And their names, the subsidiary clans, the leaders of the Hideo and Aramasa are arguing across this chamber. One of them is saying, "Why on earth did you take part in that bizarre and stupid party? Why that we invested in it on your advice, and what happened? Nothing good." And they're saying, yes, but you suggested sending to help the quartz oak in that forest. We all know that forest is cursed, and yet you insisted that was the way to gain flavor. And of course, in the middle is a younger sibling, a younger child, who is standing in for the Katsunori Daimo, who is powerless to control this. Need peace and order. It is that we are drifting into chaos. So I think what I'd like to do is to take a huge risk, and I would like to spend morale to try to have some aged member of the Katsunori say, who's not, you know, in charge, but to say, we have to bear in mind that those of us who attended the Silver Lily event came back. We were respected. We can do well in this. Can we not calm things? And I'd like to spend morale to regain a degree of order.
Okay. So that is logistics to get that kind of planned and in place and maneuvered to do that.
And that is mood, isn't it?
That is mood. You roll with the mood before you spend it.
That is 2d6. Mood is -2. That is a fail.
-2. Okay. So choose. The surplus arrives, but it raises turmoil by 1. A new threat appears, or an old threat advances.
Oh, I don't care about turmoil. But I've got plenty of turmoil. Somebody else may have some. So raise turmoil by 1.
All right.
And I think what we're pulling people back to headquarters to try to just get a grip on the central organization.
Okay.
And that's probably meaning that we're not there to help rituals of fertility and stuff like that.
Suspend morale, but clear the need for order. And I remind you, when turmoil goes above control, that is a negative tick on the clans thing, and it also causes potential additional problems.
3, 4 turmoils to go.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to last that long. Okay. I come back to the Silver Lily.
Yeah, so I'm deciding which no, I think we probably need to make good on our deal with Cesavero. So I think I'm going to read the wind. I think we are going to start mobilizing our mercantile forces to get a good supply of livestock sourced. So
let's have you roll.
Reach, which is reach +1. That is an 8.
That is an 8. So you have 1 hold.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the obvious one. How do we get a surplus of livestock?
Tell me about, name some fantastical animal here.
Oh, I think let's say kind of a like fantastical sea creature of some variety, like a leviathan sort of thing, a big giant whale.
Yeah, I think that you will find that in those southern oceans, just outside the bay, that the Marsh of Last Hope, there is a gathering of these larger sea creatures, a migration of them, that clearly something has changed with the tide and the atmosphere. And this is the first time that your people have picked up on it, and like you are in a position to potentially take advantage of this if you can get together a fishing fleet. You can move to seize control of that. How big are they? Is this the kind of thing where we're doing whaling, or is this the kind of thing where you might take them upriver to kind of hatchery, or what are we talking?
Yeah, I think this is probably more something like a whaling thing, sort of giant fish like
Okay.
fish the size of whales kind of thing.
Absolutely. So yeah, you've got these enormous fish that have come in there. Part of it may be that the Nagai family has had some issues with their own fishing and over the last years, and so places that might have been overfished are now well stocked, and these larger fish are moving into the area. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Let's come back to the quartz oak.
The land is beset by evils and plagues. The Emperor's Great Project. So we've got a mark of turmoil, right?
We've got 2 marks of turmoil on this thing now.
Yes, not good, is it? And
And no progress.
towards oh, great glass iris, in your wisdom and your what's the right word here? You're humble. The suffering that allows your clan to reach such great spiritual heights. I know that you will not allow the Emperor's project to fail with the many blessings of the heavens that fall down upon your clan. Surely we must come together and allow these blessings to fall upon the imperial house and ensure that this dark conspiracy that works among us does not escape the heavens' notice and the celestial bureaucracy is set right. So I would like to use my influence upon the glass iris to take a surplus from them.
Absolutely. Makiko and the glass iris, the call comes in from the quartz oak for this assistance. Do you give them that, or do you roll hold together?
I suppose what I need to know is whether this gives them blessings. Whether they choose to pass it on to the Emperor's project is a separate question.
That is in fact the case.
That is exactly how it works. Yes, yeah.
Then we will seek to resist this call.
Fine, you get disadvantage on that roll. Just so you
I know, because I have less favor. 3d6 -2. Okay. Oh God.
Alan, I'm ready to give it to me.
Wow.
Hold together. Together. No, if anyone's going to get any credit for giving it to the project, it was going to be me.
Oh, how spiritual of you.
So we take a look at the hold together move. So on a miss, on a hit, you mostly put Quay. Need to what it is. Okay, we don't have a miss description there. So
that's odd, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this is just the opportunity for the GM to do a really hard move is what this is. I think that it, as you resist, as people are, that there are people amongst your faction who, rather than sending the magics on or the blessings on to the quartz oak, they squirrel them away and move them out of your central holding, disperse them out and keep a hold of these blessings. And I think that is a terrible and tragic mistake, because I think when the high moon comes that month, all of those prisoners possessed in the dungeons there underneath the waterfall emerge, and within the span of a night the tower falls, and your capital is in the hands of these possessed former members of your clan. What they want, no one is sure, but people flee out in the night unprepared. All of the wardings and magics that should have prevented this, well, they had been taken away and disassembled and moved elsewhere. The thing is, the tower doesn't burn. It just goes dark, and they are in there.
I've adjusted the map to show the corrupted Tower of the Tumbling Waters.
Does that seem like a
formerly,
fair move?
Oh yes. I think I probably, need to hold together.
Yeah, that was the hold together.
Fall into crisis. Or does my mood not shift?
So you didn't lose anything resources wise. Just the blessings went elsewhere and dispersed. So I believe your mood is still at -2.
Did he not erase blessings then?
I do surely have to erase blessings.
No, the thing is, here's how I imagined it: is he called for you to send on those blessings. Your clan said no, we're not going to. And instead, a number of people among your clans kind of moved them away from the central holding. So you still have them, and the family can pull those together. But the reaction, the failure to deliver, and the people being greedy, not wanting to help, has cost you your major holding.
Okay.
So, Quartz Oak, you go to the Glass Iris and you ask them for this, and they, after some time, they decline, and then word will come to you that they have lost their major keep. Yes,
and perhaps departing the city dressed in the robes of the Shugenja, Cassie Yori discards her robes and looks back as the lights of the tower blink out one by one behind her, and she just shakes her head and says, the Glass Iris. Foolish.
And there are further consequences, I have to tell you, because we just broke the law.
Yes.
The law says that we must not allow temples and shrines to fall into disrepair. And it is the lack of lumber that has meant that our temples fall into disrepair.
Just before we move on,
yeah,
I believe I still erase my influence over the Glass Iris.
Yes, you do. Yeah. So that will add a tick to the doom track.
So hang on. I've lost it. Favor ages. So breaking law. Clan breaks the law. I've reduced my favor by 1.
Oh, that's right.
If turmoil is under control, they must also pick one. Oh my, that's not a very good list, is it? Must render their character up to the Emperor's justice. I'm not prepared to sacrifice.
As well? Was that a tick on the turmoil clock as well for that happening?
I don't think necessarily that does.
No, I'm on favor and ages down on row 51, breaking the law. When a clan breaks the Emperor's laws, they lose 1 favor. I've done that. If turmoil is under control, it is. They must also pick one. Render their character up to the Emperor's justice. I'm not going to sacrifice Makiko for this one.
Okay.
Gain need coin. Must offer up a surplus the Emperor's project needs. They must hold together is not going well, so we're going to avoid hold together. So that leaves me with need coin or render a surplus.
And need coin is actually need koku.
Oh yeah, of course, yes. I already have need koku, so I think I will, in fact, seek to send my blessings to the Emperor's project to try and salvage something from this disastrous season. So logistics to bring a dispersed resource together. Oh dear. How to watch a clan roll downhill. Roll plus mood, which is -2, 2d6. Is there any way I can get some mileage out of this.
Ask someone to lend aid.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Glass Iris. You wish to? No, of course. Do anything for the Imperial City.
I will, because I only have have any influence over the quartz oak, so I will sacrifice that, or I will ask the quartz oak, perhaps with help transporting my blessings.
Will you help?
Of course. I mean, I I see the wisdom of the Glass Iris. The longest road is sometimes the right one, we presume. Yeah, I'm sure it will pay off.
The portents suggest all will be well. Fear not, quartz oak.
So quartz oak, you will roll 1d6.
Cool. You're welcome.
Yeah, look at that. And then I
Yeah.
roll 2d6. And hang on, this is okay, so 2d6. Oh, jeez.
So that feels like I think just because things have been bad, let's go with the 10 plus on this, given the assistance. You do it was the lowest. So quartz oak, you are going to lose an influence because you rolled a 4 and he rolled a 5 and a 6.
No, I rolled a 6.
But you rolled a 1d6 plus 2 on your roll.
Oh, I did, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot to go release the modifier. That's why I thought I'd roll a 6.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So I think the misfortune in here is going to be that you are going to lose an influence over the Glass Iris. Does that feel like a reasonable misfortune?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I guess I'd not passed that correctly. I think looking back on it, in this circumstance, it's still this lend aid move. The more I look at it, I'm like,
Yeah.
we're quite amiable to rolling it, but really, I think that when you don't have influence, it's pretty good to do. But when you do have influence, then you're really hoping that they roll badly.
Yeah.
Which feels wrong because I rolled a 4, which is a decent amount, and suffered a misfortune because Alan rolled a 6 and a 5.
But on my track record, you were backing a winner all the time.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah. But it's more just like it feels odd, doesn't it?
Yeah. No. Let's. So I've gone ahead and highlighted that, and let's mark that out. As let me take a look at that this week and see if we can figure out a better way, because I get what you're saying. This is what the 3rd or 4th iteration we've done of the lend aid, trying to get it to work right.
I do really like when you don't have influence ones that you've come up with. They're really good, I think. It's just, I think, mechanically speaking, you would often be better in all regards to someone who has influence on you to force them to use their influence rather than you use your influence and risk losing it just because they succeeded.
Right.
Like it's just odd.
Yeah, let me take a look at that. It may be that there's a thing where that becomes another mechanism to spend influence, in the sense that I spend influence to have you help to have you help me. We get the die, and there's no potential like downside for that. One of the things is it is a game that puts a lot of downsides in places where it de-incentivizes things.
Yeah.
And by having that risk there, it de-incentivizes characters interacting. But it may be a place to put another piece for the influence economy.
Yeah, I suppose there's a rationale to de-incentivizing influence, de-incentivizing cooperation, in that it turns you against each other, which I think is what it's trying to do, the politics of it. We've come at it quite cooperatively compared to our last group, but I think that's the nature of all games, right, is that you may begin quite corruptively, even having competing. Then maybe I always feel that like the threats and the hard moves are really where you get those opposing interests introduced, rather than the mechanics of like helping each other.
Yeah.
Seems like,
and I think Legacy handles this differently because of the influence. Because certainly I don't remember this being quite the same issue. So let's hold off on that misfortune.
All of this is fascinating, of course, but in fact, what really matters is that we mark the progress clock.
Yes, we will mark the progress clock.
of course, that's the most
There
important.
it goes. There it goes. Because now I've not adjusted this character keeper in a positive direction for some time. So I'm
Here's
going to
the
take
other
great
thing,
pleasure
though.
in that.
You have done that, so you may add one favor.
Well, this just gets better and better. Favor now is just -1.
Okay. So let's take our second break here, and we'll come back with Silver Lily. So let's take a quick 5 on that. So some progress has been made. Blessings have been delivered.
And just to tie a bow on that, I think that we lose everyone's respect when we start selling indulgences on our trip to the capital. Because I would like to spend surplus respect to erase need Koku.
Okay.
But that will require a logistics roll.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I don't think I have any alternative.
Okay.
Because as with this much influence on me floating about, sooner or later my last surplus is going to go anyway. So I might as well try to leverage it into something valuable right now.
Okay.
So this is logistics. It's not a move I've used a lot of before today. So 2d6 plus mood, or -3, as we say
Okay.
in the Glass Iris. Oh, so close.
So
That is a 6.
That is a 6. So you have a choice there. It will get there, but you have some choices about what happens.
Absolutely, turmoil goes up, because without the steadying hand of the Glass Iris, an organized and effective Glass Iris, the realm's turmoil, of course, it goes up.
Absolutely. There's just this rumble that goes across the land, I think. The loss of the Glass Iris's home city, the fortress, that great place, just the deaths in the north. People are very nervous, and the Empress again puts out that call for people to act in to support the project. So let's come back to the Silver Lily. Now, I want to mention again that the clock, when we do the like go back to court to roll for favor, is kind of when the group says they think this might be an appropriate time to do that. If so, anyone who hasn't like led a zoom in can get an extra bite at the apple if they want to do a scene with their character. Like if Alan wanted to make that roll for the learning the ritual and that kind of thing. So Masaru.
Yeah, so I think that we to go out hunting these giant fish, I think we're going to need the help of the Sunken Rose clan, and as we don't currently have any influence on them, I think that we're going to send them a gift.
Okay.
This will be I think, as they're sort of scholarly types, And because obviously the tea ceremony is currently in vogue, I think this will be several cases of very fine tea that we send over to them. So I'm going to give them a surplus of luxury. This is with the beauty for all the world to see move, my doctrine move. I'm going to give them, a surplus of luxury and gain 2 influence over them.
Excellent. Yes, you absolutely can mark them in. They will be very, very pleased.
Can I just check in? Do you not have a need for luxury, David?
Yes, I did look at this, and in theory, what I could do is gift somebody luxury and then spend influence on them that I've just gained from giving it to them to steal it back. But I'm not going to do that right now. But that is a very fun implementation of the rules I noticed.
Yeah, and that doesn't cost him. It's just a once per year he can do that to offer that surplus. So we'll come back to you. That they'll definitely be willing to assist. Let's come back to the Quartz Oak.
Yeah. Well, let me just remind myself. There is that threat. When do threats? They come into...
They're part of hard moves.
Yes, and they come into fruition explicitly through turning of the ages, right? Cost of the ages, and through logistics that roll fails and other such things.
And cost of the ages is like when a project is finished.
Yes. When the project is complete or its doom comes to pass, the turning of the ages is I am happy for the story to move on to the next year, I think.
Do you want to do anything kind of a last thing, clan move, with your character or read the wind or something?
I mean, I know where there are maps for. I just want to remind myself. They asked me to do something. If I do it by the end of the season, so I think there's one. The Quartz Oak. There are dangers from the borderlands. There are the Emperor has beset us to find maps of the Endless Forest. And perhaps there is an even greater need for these maps now that we know that the Twisting Breath has contaminated those lands. And the what were they called? The Minor Family?
The Hellpine clan.
The Hellpine clan. The Hellpine clan holds these maps, and they jealously guard them. And so let's claim by force again.
Okay. Claim by force. All right.
So let's direct my clan to seize or maintain control of a resource. I mean, I'm
that fits.
To be honest, I'm tempted to say that they're claiming the entirety of the Hellpine clan.
Ooh, interesting. I think what that could be is well, they're already on small lands there. Unstable leadership. So let's roll and let's see what happens here.
Yeah, where do we have the Hellpine clan listed in anyway?
They are located on the map, just at the top of that forest there, by the School of the Hidden Moon.
Those tags that you gave them, are they listed anywhere?
Yes,
they're on the clan tab. Follow the Emperor down to factions on row 40.
Ah, thank you. I hadn't gone
I'm
to.
I'm also wondering if this could be kind of like a setup for a pitched battle, just because we've not seen one of those yet.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. That sounds good by me.
But
Yeah.
that's just my
You know what? I missed out one of my moves when I rolled the. I asked for 8, so it didn't matter anyway. But I should have actually just rolled my own advantage rather than them, because when my forces charge in and assault a target without guile or trickery, I gain advantage on claim by force,
Eh,
which I should have done when I went to the forest because I didn't trickery or get out my way around it. But anyways, I will certainly do so in this sense.
okay. So do you just want to do claim by force with advantage, or do you want to roll through the pitch battle?
I mean, it feels as though the Hellfine clan would resist it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just not sure where that triggers. What the trigger is for pitch battle versus claim by force.
Let's look at the clan moves for the resources in battle. Sorry. So this is another army in open warfare. And we decide what victory looks like for each party, bearing in mind what the scales are of the forces involved. So
I mean, for what it's worth, I've used pitch battle if you want to take somebody off the map.
yeah, that's very much if you want to eliminate them as a complete entity. If you want to get stuff from them right now in the short term.
I think for the sake of time and resolving things, perhaps. I also think it doesn't make much sense for me to wipe them off the map based upon their lack of fictional positioning as arrogant scum or whatever, right? So I think I
Right.
was mainly going for that because I was like, well, why not? I'll just take the resource. I think this will be a claim by force.
Rolled with advantage.
In the case of like, that's the threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roll with advantage with a +2. Jesus Christ. That's a 6 again.
When did you pick up my dice?
Yeah, exactly, Alan. Take them back. Well, there we go.
Let's see.
It's a hard move.
It is a hard move. Let's take a look here. We've already hit the grand scale stuff a couple of times here.
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
The our armies are marshaled. We make our demands. And as the Hellpine clan sends someone to meet with us in our fortress and to dispute this, to discuss this with Daimyo Hisato. His private chambers are opened, and all that anyone sees is the tall mirror that lies before there, and the empty room, and I gain the leadership.
Yes, that seems appropriate. They come to negotiate in good faith, and the mirror has taken your daimyo.
Should have met them in pitch battle.
One daimyo in the mirror zone, another one in mourning, with the silver lily.
Alan, do you want to do the learn a ritual move now?
No, what I want to do is to sell rituals. What I want to do is to offer to teach a ritual, because I have master rituals. When you teach a legacy ritual to another clan, you gain surplus respect or morale. So I am hawking these around, the silver lily and the quartz oak. You can see on row 40 the available rituals. Come one, come all. Surely you would want to know how to heal large numbers of people. The quartz oak.
Silver
Surely.
Lily, do you wish to learn any of these rituals that that the Glass Iris are willing to teach you?
Excuse me. Yes, I think I almost certainly will. I'm just having a quick look at. Oh, I feel like it's got to be Echo of the Breeze.
Okay. So you will learn that ritual, and Kasayori, Quartz Oak, when the Glass Iris comes to you and offers to teach you these powerful, potent magics,
How could you resist it, Quartz Oak?
Oh, I apologize. I thought that was a question leveled at the Silver Lily still. Sorry, you broke up for a second then.
oh, that's okay. Do
yeah.
you wish to have your family learn one of these legacy rituals?
Legacy rituals. What can I do with a legacy ritual? Communicate, move a force of great people, great distance, change the shape of the terrain, create a bar.
Well, the ones he
Maybe
has are Way of Purity, Echoes of the Breeze,
Yeah,
and Heart of the Dragon.
you need to be
the...
looking at clans row 49.
9.
Thank you. Yes, I need to know the echoes of the breeze
Okay.
so that I can communicate with the daimyo.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
I will take respect for the first one and morale for the second one. We're back.
Okay. Having sold your soul out effectively, but yes. All right. Then Silver Lily, do you want to resolve that claim by force for
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
you have done that? Do you want to spend that influence and get advantage?
I will indeed. Yep.
Okay. Everyone's rolled so well today. Well, you rolled really well early on. Let's just be fair while we're at the character level.
That's a fail for me.
That is
That's
a fail.
only a 6.
Only a 6. I think that what occurs is you do not get the livestock. And I think that the Sunken Rose does. They will seize it out from under you and take a hold of it. And I think I'm going to put, how much turmoil do we have? I already got 3 turmoil on the thing this session. So let me have you roll a hold together as your family is hit by this betrayal by a smaller clan.
That's a 12.
That is a 12. On a 10 plus, you're brought closer together by the trial, gain surplus morale. You still do have to pick one from above.
Sure thing. Sorry, just hold together. I think I'm going to give I think I'm going to actually give the Nagai family influence over me, as I
Okay.
think they, I think that they've perhaps censored the activities of the Sunken Rose.
Absolutely. So they will get influence over the Silver Lily. All right. So we were talking about going to the end of the year to doing that process, walking through it. In which case we go to Holden Court. So the year ends. Tell me, where will we had the Silver Lily decide last time? Where is the Winter Court being held this year, Kazayori?
It's an interesting question. Before, was it the Mirrored City, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is. What did we say was the Open Hand Keep again?
It's kind of a borderlands place between your people's lands and some of the other clans.
Yeah. The School of the Hidden Moon was
A
school.
fallen, corrupted dojo.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I think that it's perhaps actually in the Hellpine clan's lands due to their great gift of the Endless Forest maps to the Imperial family.
I like it. So what is your favorite glass iris?
My favor is -1,
Okay.
but I've read my moves this time. So when the Emperor is holding court, we are hallowed. We pick one. Praise the Emperor and their virtues. Oh, to the skies. And gain advantage on the favor roll.
Okay. So roll -1 with advantage.
Wow, what can go wrong? Okay, 3d6. 9 -1 is 8.
8. So on a 7 to 9, the Emperor will say, well, to the senior members of the Glass Iris clan who arrive, they will say, this is an embarrassment to us. We are lucky that people do not understand the full dimension of your loss, or there would be more upset, parentheses, and the doom track would be 1 higher, end parentheses. I expect that by the time the next Winter Court has been held, you will have retaken your capital.
Oh, yes, great Emperor. Empress.
Silver Lily, what is your role here?
Our favor is currently 0, and I do not believe that we get any particular benefits. So I will just roll that and see what happens. That's a 4.
That is a 4. So the Empress's attentions are occupied elsewhere. You were to have finished and sealed the deal with this dragon, But now that trade agreement is in jeopardy because you have not been able to do that. And the Empress notably snubs you. And I think it is, in fact, the Sunken Rose clan who step forward to say, if you wish, we can handle the trade affairs with the dragon. We have surplus livestock. We can do that. And I think it's very clear in the Winter Court, your clan's failure and discommendation from this. So you will lose an influence over each other clan that you have influence over.
Yep, I have applied that.
Okay. And we come to you, Will.
Yeah. Before I continue,
Yes.
I hate to backtrack.
No, that's okay.
It turns out I already know Echoes of the Breeze, the one ritual that I'm actually interested in.
Sure.
So I'm actually not that interested in Heart of the Dragon or Way of Purity.
Okay.
So I don't know which one Alan gained, respect or morale from me. I'd probably go with morale because I am happy to, at the next possible opportunity, to use my doctrine of communal solidarity, a thing that I have also just noticed, and help both the Glass Iris and the Silver Lily with their need for morale, because I can comfort a group or faction suffering misfortune and erase one of their needs for which I have a surplus, but I keep my surplus. So that is a thing I would like to do. I apologize for missing that part of my character sheets. Those intricacies. I'd forgotten that I even had a ritual, to be honest with you. Oh no, did you add that to my list, Alan? It says that everybody
added it to your list.
But it says everybody starts with one ritual, right?
Yeah, you hadn't picked yours yet.
Oh, well, I had to pick that one, I guess.
Yeah, you could pick that one.
Yeah, I mean,
it works out.
Yeah.
Oh well, in that case, I'll put it back because I deleted it. But there it is.
I apologize for this.
No, there's a lot of little moving pieces, and it's such a different thing.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And yes, Alan, I will endeavor at my next opportunity to help the Glass Iris with their morale problem anyways. Anyway, I believe I lose favor due to not fulfilling the task that was set to me at the start of the last call.
That is correct.
So I'm 0 favor, despite my time in the war. Jesus. So I roll +0. And I get a 9.
Get a 9. I think that the request is simple. To lose one heir can be considered an accident. To lose 2 daimyo family members seems problematic. And the Empress will say, you must either recover alive or dead the body of your daimyo so that another can cleanly take his place. Or he must be recovered and re-enshrined. By the end of the year, there must be a clean figurehead, a clean leader for your clan. In this time of turmoil, with the darkness reaching across, we cannot afford to show such weakness.
Thank you, my troublesome clan champion, thingy Yori, Risuga Yori, is champing at the bit to become the daimyo, but is not allowed to as long as that question is out there. So,
exactly. So
yeah, cool. And you imagine that would lead one to perhaps the Sundered Mirror as well. So I think that's a nice dovetailing of objectives.
Yeah. This feels like a good place to stop. We'll start next time kind of with the characters meeting, and then maybe doing a zoom in to one of the troubles that we have laying out there. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's do a quick stars wishes. I will say I appreciate us kind of punching at that lend aid move, because I think it is right. One of the goals has been throughout is trying to get and find the place where we're having the friction points in play, where we're kind of hitting against it, and that's a place we do. We'll look at getting that fixed. So I appreciate you all working through that. Will, stars, wishes?
Stars, I really enjoyed the character level stuff. I also really enjoyed the clan level stuff, and I star to Alan for um, you know being petty, I suppose, when it came to the calling for blessings and everything. Because no matter which way that went, I was happy with whichever way the way it turned out. The turmoil, whatever. I obviously interacted with that slight frustration you get when you fail like 4 rolls in a row, like at the clan level, but c'est la vie. You know what I mean? I'm also happy for the Empire to descend into turmoil and chaos. I'd be interested in seeing how that goes. Wishes wise, I would like to perhaps do a quick zoom in that involves our magistrate. I think that would be a natural fit, perhaps, for the shanty town. If we zoomed in on the Makiko looking for the Imperial Archive, it feels like that's natural, because I feel like the agents of the Emperor do require some framing to make them make sense in a scene, right? It makes no sense to be around when I'm looking for my daimyo, unless it leads to a clan I have to punish or something. I would also like, on the basis that we may end up that next session being the last session, I would like, it may be the last thing that we do, but I would like to try and power our way towards the Emperor's project if we can, and even if that involves the Doom coming to pass. I can see where I got confused about the Doom track, the turmoil raising. It's the Doom track raises, the triggers for the Doom track raising underneath blah blah blah. What is it called? Purge of Darkness. It hits Doom when someone innocent is caught up and persecuted. A highly placed person is revealed to be corrupted. A group of the corrupted overcome those sent against them. The first time each PC clan gains needs, blessings, or justice.
I think I'm going to be putting a couple ticks on the Doom track from what we've done today, actually.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if losing the capital counted as that trigger there, or if that was deferred. But I suppose that's a wish for hard moves to include some of those Doom track and make that central. So just so that we,
right,
fiction. I'm trying to increase the progress track, but as a player, I'm fine if it just fails and we just get to see the turning of the ages there.
No,
basically.
I think that's great. You guys get interesting choices either way, quite honestly. Though the Doom track one is a little more painful, but you still get stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alan.
Stars for a group of mismatched adventurers at a cave entrance. Stars for various appropriate, much more appropriate interactions with the dragon than they would have had from all the players. So yeah, I enjoyed the zoom in a lot. I enjoyed digging myself into a hole and then seeking to dig myself out of a hole, gaining respect for selling everything that it's like selling off the gas companies. All of that was brilliant. And wishes. I'll be honest with you, if I was going to call a zoom in, I think the fragment of the Imperial Archive is probably much further down the track than it is storming the Tower of Tumbling Waters. And I think that that the Imperial Magistrate might be quite useful there, given that he's a kind of scout as much as anything else. So I think we might, yes, privatizing the blessings industry, yes. So I think probably my wish would be if you're looking for me, if you're looking at me for a zoom in, I would want to storm the tower. And if someone wants to bring the Imperial Magistrate, I'm down with that.
Okay. That seems reasonable.
Just to jump on that one, I think that's a good idea because I agree with the eye of the magistrate. And I also think that fictionally, we established this idea that there is a conspiracy of the corrupted inside. Perhaps the tower has those who claim to be uncorrupted. And who better to rule upon their corruption than the Imperial Magistrate?
Than the Magistrate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Masaru.
Yeah, so just to kind of I mean, it's sort of reiterating both what people said just now and also kind of what we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I do really like the way that the game kind of creates these big sweeping plot lines just from each role that's made, especially obviously at the clan level. I think we really saw that today. Perhaps not for the better, but you know. So yeah, that it was like really cool to see everyone kind of engage and deal with the outcome of stuff and how that kind of sets up more stuff for us to do later. So I think that's all really cool. And I think it was a good fun one. Yeah, I said it was fun to have that bit of zoomed in action at the beginning. I thought that was a lot of fun. Nothing major to add beyond that.
Okay.
Wishes. I think in some ways, like I'm interested in seeing where these hijinks with the corrupted tower and the infiltrators go on. I feel like kind of the not in a bad way, but I feel like at the minute my clan feels a lot more stable and kind of
you're the only one who fixed their problems. So
exactly. So I'm interested in kind of diving in. I would certainly be interested in either picking up some quick characters or the agent to jump in on some of the other stuff. So that would be cool.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's that was a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
So what I may do at the start is we'll do a little RP scenes with the group at the start of next time. And then maybe we'll say, okay, which one of the zoom ins do we want to go right into and do that and see how that changes things. So because I do like doing those right at the start. It does set things up. And again, the secondary characters, the zoom ins, there's a real secret sauce to this game that when you get that moving back and forth and the fun of that, it really feels good. So I'm going to stop the recording.